Good morning, family. Welcome to the Hillside Homestead. Today, we are going to can some great northern beans. I have already started the process. I have sorted my beans, and you want to sort your beans because, let's see if you can see this in here. Bring you a little closer. I don't know. Bring it down some. If you can see all these beans that are just kind of bad, and you can even find some little rocks in your beans. So before you wash them, you sort them really good. Take out all those bad beans, and then you wash them. You wash them and wash them and wash them until they are clean. So for this process, we are going to need, we're doing them in quart size. So you're going to need your quart size jars. My jars are already in the Presto canner. They are sterilized. My lids are in the pot. They are warmed up. And my Presto canner, it holds 7 quarts. So that is what you're going to need. I'm doing more than that, so I had to do the process over and over again. So you'll need that. And like I said, you'll need your lids warmed up. You will need a funnel to funnel your beans into the jar. You will need a jar lifter. And for the quart size, you will need a teaspoon of salt if you desire. And you can also do other seasonings if you desire. I have done my first batch of beans with a chili seasoning. You will also need a magnet to get your jars, your lids out of the hot water. And you will need a debubbler to get the bubbles out of the jars. So I sorted my beans. I washed them until I saw no dirty water come out. And the great northern beans that I purchased from Bulk Foods, they were pretty clean, but I still washed them and washed them and washed them. Then I soaked them for 24 hours. Yes, a whole day. And you should have saw all the impurities, all that white foam that gives us gas that we do not like. It was just flowing out of the pot over the 24-hour period. So after that, I washed them again. I scraped all that foam off first, put it in the sink, let it go down the drain. Then I washed the beans over and over again, and I cooked them for 30 minutes. And right now, the beans are hot. My jars are hot because this is a pressure canner. Your jars have to go into the canner hot because you don't want an explosion in there. So I have hot water. My beans have cooked in hot water, but I'm going to use a clean hot water, Max, to put in the jars. And we're going to go through that process. So I'm going to bring you down and see what's up with Max. Alrighty, let's get started. What I'm going to do first, and Max is still making a lot of noise because he hears something outside, is I'm going to get my jars out of the canner. With my jar lifter. I'm going to pour this nice, clean, hot water out. And I'm going to do 2 jars at a time. Maxwell. We're going to get the beans. And I'm using this. I'm going to funnel the beans out with this spoon and put them in this cup here so I don't get a lot of this water mixed in with the other water. So let's see if you can see me here. Give you back some. There you go. All right. And on the quart-sized jars, you have to leave an inch of headspace. So I'll just fill this jar up. See that? A little bit more in. All right, I am going to get my hot water out of the pot. Put this over here. Let me show you what an inch of headspace is. The inch would be right up to this first groove right in there. I am going to put my salt in, and it is a teaspoon of salt. And I will do the other one. Pressure canning really scares a lot of people. But I believe if you do it correctly, you'll have good results. Water bath canning is much easier, but you can only use that with fruits and high acid foods. My water in. To that 1 inch mark. I'll put my salt in this jar. And now we shall get the lids out. And here I have 1 wide mouth and I have 1 regular mouth. And I will show you the difference. This is a regular size mouth, and this is a wide size mouth. The wide size lids just make it a little easier to get the product into your jars, but it really doesn't matter which one you want. I'll get the rings out. Oh, I forgot a process. So we're gonna put those back in the hot water because two things I did not do. I did not get the bubbles out. I'm sure you can see that. And I put them back in the water because I don't want anything on those lids when I put them on the jars. And that is the other thing I did not do. Never pays to rush. I did not wipe the rings of my jars off. And that is very important because you want your lids to seal on your jars. And if anything is on there like salt or anything, it'll keep it, it could keep it from sealing. And then you would have a bad product, or it would go bad on your shelves. So you want that seal. So I guess that was a great object lesson. So we'll do this again. Put that on there. That on there. Get a ring out. And your rings do not have to be in the hot water. Just your lids. But I usually just do them all together. And your rings, your tops have to be on finger tight. Not real tight and not real loose, just finger tight. So I'm going to get my jar lifter, put you over this way, and I am going to put them inside my pressure canner. And I am going to take out two more. That is very hot. Put it over here. That there. This time we'll go through this process again. Take my funnel, get my beans out, hears noise, and he believes that he owns everything around here and he shouldn't hear anything. All right, put that in there. I can fit a little more in there. Very good. I'm going to get my hot water out. Fill up my quart jars to an inch of headspace. I am going to add a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to get my bubbles out. Looks pretty good. I'm going to wipe the ring of the jar. Get my lid out. And I'm going to do that fingertip tight. I will pick it up with a jar lifter because it is hot. And I will place it in my canner. This canner is a Presto canner. Right here, Presto canner, and all the directions to the canner are inside. And I'm going to continue this process until I get all my jars filled, and I will bring you back when I start the canner, get it going, and let you see that process also. I am now going to put my last jar in the pressure canner. 7 quart jars. I'm going to put my lid on. On the lid, there's a regulator. There's a little air vent that you have to make sure you keep clean. So you look through it to make sure you can see out the other side. Also, there is a rubber gasket around here. And when I use it, I oil it, and you just oil in between here. There's also on this a little closed V open. So what you do is you place the cap on the canner. There's also that little V. So you place the cap where the V's meet, and you twist it closed. Now, this has to reach a point of boiling, and when you see it really boiling, you'll see a lot of steam coming out of this vent. Once that happens, you have to time it for 10 minutes. Now my water is pretty hot, so it shouldn't take long. I can already see the steam coming out. But it must come out for 10 minutes. And then you put your regulator on. Now for my altitude, it is 10 pounds of pressure. And this is a 10-pound weight. Once it steams for 10 minutes, it's boiling rapidly, you will place this weight on your vent here. And your regulator will have to go up to 10 because, again, I am at 10, my altitude is for 10 pounds of pressure. So you check your altitude wherever you are. And you can go online and check your altitude for your area. So that is what we're going to let it do. We're going to let it reach that boiling point where the steam comes out. And we'll put this on. We'll let our regulator go up to 10 pounds of pressure, And for the beans in the quart-sized jars, you have to process for 90 minutes. So once that is done, I will bring you back and let you see me taking the jars out of the pressure canner. I have beans left. I have done chili seasoned beans, which are over here, which I cannot move because they have to sit for 12, 16, some people say 24 hours. So these are just with salt. And I think my next ones I am going to do with, let's see. Yes, I think I'm going to use a little vegetarian chicken seasonings in them. I think that should taste good. Alrighty, we'll bring you back. Oh, it's going to be a little over 90 minutes because we have to let this come to a boil. See you back in a little bit. Alrighty, our beans have finished processing. Our gauge has dropped back down to 0. Little pressure valve here has gone back down, and we are going to open up the pressure canner and take out our jars. You always turn the lid away from you. I think you can see all that steam coming up out of there. It is very, very hot. Okay. I'm going to take the jars out, and I am going to put them right here on my cabinet, counter, that way so you can see that. And I will not be touching these jars for 24 hours. If you can see, it is still bubbling inside, so it's still processing. And a lot of times you can hear that little pop where that little raised area in the middle goes down, and you know that it has pressure canned. Properly. All right, there's our finished product, and I will be doing the rest of my beans. But as I look at all the food that God has blessed me to take care of, I remember those who don't have, those who have lost jobs, children who don't have food. And it's amazing to me that the government is telling our farmers to get rid of food, destroy food, when they can give all this food away to those who don't have. My text from scripture is found in Isaiah 58, verse 10. And it says, "If thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted souls, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones. And thou shalt be like a watered garden, like a spring of waters, whose waters fail not." Let's help someone else today. Someone who may be going through a hard time. Someone who may not have. As I store up my food, maybe there'll be one day when someone needs something and I can give them to them. So today, this October morning, can't believe it's October. Go out, make it a wonderful day. God bless you. Please, If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Once again, God bless you.